Tonight, the Army released the identity of the third crew member aboard that Black Hawk helicopter that collided with an American Airlines flight over the Potomac River this week. Captain Rebecca Loback, a native of Durham, North Carolina, was 28 years old. 67 people were killed in the crash. Tonight, President Trump, as threatened, has hit most imports from the United States' top 3 trading partners with tariffs of up to 25%. Billions of dollars worth of goods are affected. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation says tariffs could cost the average American family $830 a year. CBS's Willie James Inman is in West Palm Beach, near where President Trump is spending the weekend. Willie James?
Nancy, good evening to you. President Trump delivering on a key campaign threat, imposing punishing tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico, a move that economists warn will raise prices for Americans.
President Trump throwing the first punch in a fight with America's largest trading partners. Imports from Canada and Mexico will be hit with a tariff of 25%. Imports from China, 10%. The president says the tariffs are a reaction to illegal migration, illicit fentanyl, and trade deficits.
Number one is the people that have poured into our country so horribly and so much. Number two are the drugs, fentanyl, and everything else.
Government data shows over 21,000 pounds of illicit fentanyl was seized at the U.S. southern border during fiscal year 2024. But only 43 pounds of the drug was seized at the Canadian border. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the country is at a critical moment.
We're ready with a response, a purposeful, forceful, but reasonable, immediate response.
Nearly 30% of all imports to the U.S. come from Canada and Mexico. Experts say prepare for sticker shock on everything from Mexican tequila and avocados to Canadian-supplied car parts, energy, and lumber.
A tariff at the end of the day for Americans, it's a tax. There will be pain for Americans at the gas pump and other places.
The White House also put a 10% tariff on Canadian energy imports. Now, Canada is America's largest supplier of both oil and natural gas. Nancy?
Willie James Inman, thank you. Trade between the U.S. and Canada is big business, and earlier today I spoke with Ontario Premier Doug Ford. The province is Canada's largest trading partner with the U.S. In the first 3 quarters of 2024, roughly $683 billion in goods and services crossed the U.S.-Canada border. That is nearly $2.5 billion every day. Premier Ford, President Trump's tariffs threat, it is now a reality. Is this the start of a trade war?
Well, Nancy, I hope it's not. We're the 2 closest, strongest allies in the entire world. We're the #1 customer for the U.S. and the American people. And this is going to hurt both sides of the border. It's going to create inflation in the U.S., create inflation in Canada.
That said, you have backed strong and forceful counter tariffs. What are they?
Let's see what President Trump comes out with. But I can tell you one thing, we aren't going to lie down and roll over. We will use every single tool we have in our toolbox to retaliate. 60% of our energy gets flowed down to the U.S. The electricity that Ontario provides to keep 1.5 million homes lit up in Michigan, in New York, in Minnesota, and the list goes on. Our high-grade nickel that we ship down to the U.S.
Would those potentially be sectors that you could and would target then?
Everything's on the table. Absolutely everything. Nothing's off the table right now.